to our viewers. Welcome to the Evening in Review show. I'm your host, Matthias Aufiko. Well, Namibian institutions are doing their best to ensure that Namibia is represented on the global stage, and also ensuring that sufficient benchmarking is done to ensure that many of us Namibians are upskilled and ready for what the world has to offer. One such institution is the Afriyoung Academy, founded by Mr. Simon Williams. Mr. Williams, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Mr. Matthias, and great pleasure to be here.
No, it's indeed a pleasure to have you here. Just briefly, before we dive deeply into the conversation, just a brief introduction and summary on what Afriyoung is all about and the work it does.
Okay, yeah, right, thank you. Afriyoung is a very young startup academy, which was inspired by basically to create and to establish an institution that has passion and focus on nurturing young talents. And within the academy, we have different programs. There are programs that are under the vocational education, apprenticeship as well. And we have programs that are mainly also in mentorship. And under this mentorship, we focus on nurturing young talents around connecting them to opportunity that are at a global level. So in a nutshell, that's more of the background, and the academy was founded in 2010 while I was actually at the university. And then fast forward, after finishing university, I went to do my postgraduate study in Switzerland with a government scholarship, and upon returning from Switzerland, I went to the US, and then when I returned from the US is when I really focused on trying to establish the academy. Like now, we are working on promoting cultural exchange, which is now very important in terms of connecting our young people here to opportunities at the international level. So that's the background.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you say are some of the factors that really prompted you to come up with this initiative, and why is it important for a country like Namibia to have institutions of this nature?
Yeah, no, right, thank you. One of the things growing up as a young man, I was fortunate along the journey to get some support from also a national leader. Like I mentioned, I have studied on the government scholarship, and I realized that when, for instance, when I was in Switzerland in 2014, I was only Namibian there at that time. And when I finished studying in Switzerland in 2015, when I went to US to do my management training, again, I found myself only Namibian there. And in all of those two different environments, there were great opportunity where young people from all over the world are actually going. And I thought, going back home, we have to do something that connecting young people to this opportunity. And that was actually one of the thought process. And to date, we had pretty much close more than 30 young people on this program that are in the US. We have some young people that are also in Dubai that we have introduced them to some of our partners there. And now we have some collaboration with partner in Germany. And so overall, it's also just to bring us a joy to be able to celebrate our cultural diversities as Namibians. And there is a critical importance element around issues of professional career development. And more so, especially when you look at, you have a young person that is going to university now, let's say, for example, or even from high school, where do they want to be in terms of their career? And also you look at the limited opportunity that we have in Namibia. And we need to be able to say, as a small country as it is, that the industry not enough to absorb all the young graduates, where else can we look to connect these young talents to those global opportunities? And that's how we really feel that's the best way to contribute to the nation, especially to the young people. And it just needs a dialogue where you have the parents, the guardians, and the youth themselves to have a bit more understanding about what does it take to invest in your talent, in your passion, toward the career. Whether you're going to be an entrepreneur, whether you're going to work in, even before you become an entrepreneur, you need to gain up some working experience somewhere. So we need to be able to tap into that, and then also to look in the curriculum that we have. Is it enough? Is it preparing our young people ready to compete at a global level? So those are some of the things really that we just think feel like, we have learned now at the international level, let's bring this knowledge back home and pass them on to the young people.
Yeah.
And that's where the mentorship come into kick.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one would ask, what is the process? Which process? Which process is involved? As if I want to be part of this program, what steps do I need to follow?
Yeah, sure. We running two, let's say two programs, but under that two program, then you have different sort of a pathway to it. So, for example, actually three. So for Germany, we have an opportunity where we are able to connect young people between the age of 18 to 35 under the apprenticeship, where simply just they're going to be learning on the job.
Yeah.
You are learning, you are earning at the same time. The second program we have for Germany is young people that have degree, age between can be 21 or 22 to 44, and in both scenarios they need to be able to have some good ability to speak German, some certification. And if, let's say, for example, if they don't have those, they don't meet those requirements, now again, mentorship now become crucially important, because then you are now going to be coached, be supported to understand what process do you need to take in being able to go into those international level. And then, of course, your whole aspect also understanding the culture, where you're going to go. In the US, we have a program under internship, but this internship is under cultural exchange, which is vetted and developed by the US government under the Department of the Educational Department. And that program offers opportunity to young people between the age of 18 to 35 in all fields, from media to music, to art, to agriculture, to education, to hospitality. And then hospitality for the US is about 12 months. Again, when this young person is there, he's learning international world-class hospitality, from the food, from the culture, from the business innovations, from learning and sharing their culture with all the students that they are meeting from all over, from home in Africa, Europe, Asia, South America, the Caribbean, and so forth. And then, of course, for, let's say, in agriculture and education, those are programs for 18 months. So for hospitality, a person can either have a diploma from level 5, NQF level 5, with 1 year working experience, or if they don't have the qualification, but they have 5 years of working experience, and they are within this age category of 18 to 35, then they are able to qualify. And then the next step into it is just basically that we need to coach them now from what do they need? How do we start from a professional CV? How do they put up a professional CV that is meeting those formations that are required by our partner? And then after that, they are going, we also interview them. We then introduce them to our partner. Then they have 1 interview, and after that they will be introduced to the host property. They will have interviews. Once they get the offer, then the next interview in the process is either the US Embassy or the German Embassy. And then if once they are granted their visa, the next step is then we just help them to look into booking the flight tickets, and then off they get to the States. Like this month, we are excited. We have 2 candidates that will be leaving soon. One is a chef, one is in the food and beverage, and these are critical skills for us in Namibia in terms of the hospitality and the tourism industry. And of course, customer care and customer service, as you know, we're not doing so well in this area. But these young people, when they get into there, they actually have an opportunity to really learn the importance of customer care. So there's quite a lot.
So once I go abroad on this program, upon my return, what is it that I can then bring back home?
Sure.
If I'm a graduate and I was unemployed and I go on this program, so upon my return, what does Academy do in terms of assisting those who went through a program to perhaps enter the job market, or perhaps create their own jobs and so on? What is the avenues that are available there?
All right, thank you. So we have few, I will say, a support system in place. So the first support system, we try to educate and inspire the candidate. We advise them to say, look, if you go in a program like this one, and let's say whether it's you as an individual or a group of you, when you come back, Afriyoung would give you a support system to coach you, to mentor you, and we would love to encourage you to say, as a group of 2 or 3, go to the bank, invest a portion of the money that you have into a collective account that you have, and then we identify projects. Then we will continue to give you support. That project, if it's in hospitality, you can become a mentor in the academy. You can become an instructor in the academy to share your experience, whether you were a chef, whether you were F&B, whether you were in room division, for example. So in all of them, there is an element of both innovations that you can bring here, the cultural innovations, the specific skill set. If he's a chef, we're looking at the cuisine. If he's somebody in the front office, we're also looking at the different operating system that they've been learning on. But on both sides, you have the experience of the customer service. Second, we also introduce them to local company here that are interested to hire somebody that is bringing international experience. As we speak, we have few candidates that, for instance, one of them is running as a sous chef for Hilton Garden here in Windhoek, the new one that is open. We have another candidate that was working for ONL, Avani, and then Strand Hotel, Onguma Lodge. So there is, you can see that there's also an appreciation from the industry to welcome this candidate to come on board and to continue to bring new skills in. But also, we encourage them that as you come back, if you went and you have only a bachelor degree and you have earned some good money when you were on this program, now invest in your master. If you have a master, invest in your PhD, for example. So there is quite a lot, and we are consistently trying to connect them with the opportunity that we have within our network.
Okay. So in terms of cost-wise, once candidates join the program and they go abroad, how does that work? What is expected from them?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, for the US, there are sometimes where you have the financial aids that are limited. If that means the very first cost that you are looking at is the visa. That visa is providing candidate 2 important documents. One document is the one that legally gives you the right to be able to enter the US. It's called DS 2019. And then another document is from the host employers where you're going to be doing the training. So our partner on that side, that administrative part, then there are costs. So sometimes you have now the host employer on the other side that will pay for those costs and either deduct that financial resources from the candidates on their paycheck when they are on the other side. If not, then we basically now go through the candidate with the whole financial budget career investment plan to say, okay, what are your financial resources? Maybe the candidate has only about 10,000 and is not sufficient even for a flight ticket. Then we need to take them through the whole entire process to say, you need this, you need this. Depending on their age, somebody might be 20 now, they don't have all the funds that are ready, but they can now raise that fund in the next 2 years or so. So those are the processes that we take them through. Germany is the same. So the process is the same, but there are also times when the funds are available, then they get supported. We have candidates that went through the process who were able to get the financial resources from the host property in the US where they went. So
okay. Just before we head for a break, maybe just talk to us briefly about the certification and so on of the academy, and if at all, what is required as far as the law is concerned, because people might be wondering, but is this a certified academy or is it one of those fly-by-night institutions?
No, it's important. So Afriyoung is regulated under 2 frameworks. So this particular global cultural exchange program is regulated under a license of recruiting agents, and that one have to get it from Ministry of Labor. So we have that license. And so in terms of when, and most importantly also, when you, in our case, when we partner up with all these partners in the US, you also have to present to them what is the your license in terms of the framework that you are operating in Namibia. So both German program and the US is under that license. In terms of Afriyoung as a hospitality and tourism TVET academy, there we are regulated by the Technical Vocational Education Act, which is either you do register as an institution with NTA, Namibia Training Authority, or accredited with the NQA. So when we on our campus, which is in Ongwediva, we had the license from NTA. It's just right now we are just in the process of renewing it, because normally as a TVET academy you have it's valid for 3 years and then you apply again. So, but the mentorship and the internship and the apprenticeship for both the US and German, our license is intact.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Speak to us briefly about the mentors that the academy uses.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, in terms of qualities and competence to ensure that they provide the proper mentorship.
Yeah, sure. In our case, we are very fortunate because first and foremost, we really sharing the experience on the journey that we have been ourselves. I'm one of the mentor that in terms of as a lead mentor for this, and I'm really being able to share the experience with the candidates from my journey in Switzerland, in the US, and back home. Then we have our brother Jos, who also in a lot of ways has done a similar program during his time in the US, and somebody that has been very, very passionate for the young talent development in Namibia. And in my case, I was fortunate. I have known Josie since 2002. So we have always been in touch.
Yeah.
And so with his record of leadership and passion, credibilities, so those are kind of the calibers that we have. And then we have the rest of the other candidates that have gone into the program that are retained, that are able to share their stories, like all of these that I have mentioned that are here. So we're mentoring some of them to play up a critical role.
Yeah.
There is, for instance, in 2022, Afriyoung was nominated by Africa Tourism Partner for an outstanding entrepreneurship leadership award in Gaborone. So when I went in that process, one of the young mentors that just returned from the US, he said, Mr. Williams, I want to be able to learn the whole entire business model. So we went together with Wesley Sifungula. He's now hired by Midgard. And so again, so we really focusing on to make sure that the people that we have that are giving the coaching and the mentorship, number one, you want them to be passionate about sharing their passion and really for them to pay it forward for the young people. Yeah, so there we sharing that experience that we have learned hands-on on the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Williams, we head for a short break quickly, and we'll be back to continue this conversation.
Right, thank
To
you.
our viewers, wait for a short break. Stay tuned.
The Agenda is a weekly national affairs interview program hosted every Sunday by Namibian Sun editor Toivon Jabela, featuring a panel of high-profile newsmakers, analysts, and experts. The Agenda aims to reach high-end news consumers seeking informed understanding of national issues. This show is broadcasted on NTV, 1up2.com, and the Namibia Media Holdings Facebook platform. The Agenda focuses on interviews where we put the nation in the hot seat. Contact Agenda at synergy.com.na to get your product and service in the hot seat. The Agenda, focused on today's conversation.
Welcome back from that short break. Mr. Williams, can you just give us a bit of information on this weekend's upcoming Youth Connect Summit that Afriyoung is hosting?
Yeah, right. Thank you. This coming up Saturday, we will be at the NAST Hotel School, where we are able to then provide a mentorship session for the young people or the parents that are thinking about their young one to take an international career. The time will be from 11 or 11:30 for 12 o'clock. Punctuality is obviously critically important, and normally those mentorship sessions are about 690, but this time it's on a special offer, which is 320. So we're looking forward to just being able to really meet and look at all of the opportunity in all the different fields, like for the US and for Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are the most sought after fields?
It's across the sort of both from your STEM to hospitality is obviously leading. Agriculture, we had some inquiry also from there. There is a interest from education, where you have either teachers for primary schools, high school, that going into the program. Also HR, like especially this week, we've been getting good inquiry around business and human resources. Yeah, so in terms of the field, we have all field. In the US, the only thing that is not happening at the moment is just medicine. But medicines, nursing, healthcare, dental care, that's available for Germany, especially for those that have degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There's generally a shortage of mentorship and internship opportunities, especially for graduates in the country. What would you say, based on your experience over the years, what is it that we need to do as a country to unlock more of these opportunities, even locally?
Yeah, sure. There's definitely an opportunity, and one of the things that we would love to be able to explore is to find a collaborative approach to just make sure that those young people that meet the requirements, but let's say they might have lack of financial resources, what can we do as a nation together to support these young talents? Because firstly, if we help them, it means, let's say if it's for a 12-month, that person is basically on a journey learning hands-on under most experienced mentors that are coaching this person on the importance of developing as a chef, or developing as a room divisions, or developing as an accountant, or developing as a HR. And so I think we would love to really to be able even to see the government stakeholder, government agents, public, state-owned enterprise, and the private sector to come on board with us, and we have some amazing ideas also we want to share with your team. To see how do we contribute and come up with a fundraising to put up a support system in really talent development. Because I think in most time, this is where, as a nation, even in the context of Namibia, where most institutions are actually failing. We don't really have a very well long-term, medium-term, short-term culture of investing in talent. And when we do, we will really reap a fruitful harvest. So those are some of the ideas that we have in place.
Okay. Would you perhaps say organizations locally don't really perhaps understand the importance of mentorship and internship programs? Hence, some of them are reluctant to sort of take on graduates or students.
I think firstly that's one factor as well, and sometimes also in terms of the company local, then there are also resources that are limited. But I think if we develop a culture of to say, look, how do we have an Ubuntu cultures where we really say, look, this person is talented. Let's say, for example, golf. We have also quite few of youngsters that are playing golf. But if you look at golf from a sport and a profession, in the US, it's big. There are golf clubs there that need these players to go there. But in most cases, it's just the resources. Resources simply mean a person does not have even funds to buy a return ticket. A person does not have funds to invest into the visa processes. And those are some of the barriers that we are thinking. If we could be able to create more awareness, both the stakeholders in business, in government, and just families, to understand, to say, look, to be successful, we need to invest firstly in talent, in passion, and then create that resources pool where we could have a body, a team that is really of a higher leadership, ethical vision to ensure that we do this investment where we're taking it from cultural diversity inclusion, let's say for example, from the 14 region. So some of these things are not difficult. It's just a dialogue that need to happen.
Yeah.
And then hear it from the people that went through the journey, what has it changed their life, what impact it has, and where are they now? And I think once that understanding and awareness and that dialogue takes shape, we could do great work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe just as we wrap up, just any exit remarks from your side going forward?
No, we really just looking forward to have more dialogues with the stakeholder to create awareness about the importance of mentorship. And we're looking forward for both parents and the young people to reach out to us, whether at an event like this in Windhoek on Saturday, or whether it's just engaging with us on our social medias, reaching out to us via emails, via cell phone. We intend to be able to want to have this event in all region, but it will require just resources to be able to get there. Yeah, so.
Okay. Well, Mr. Williams, thank you very much for your time this evening, and we wish you well in the work that you do.
No, thank you very much.
It's
a pleasure to be here, and we appreciated your support.
Thank you very much.
That's a pleasure.
Well, to our viewers, that is from Evening Review team. See you again tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a pleasant evening.